Hey folks, I'm HP's Dr. Pink, and today's topic is 3 Pro licks in E. E is a special key on the guitar because we have a lot of open strings. There are a few tricks you need to know how to play this that you sound like a pro, and it's really easy. So even if you're not a pro, it's really worth checking this stuff out. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification button that you don't miss any live stream or premiere, and I'm going to show the licks which I'm going to talk about today. Yeah, that were those licks, and they are really cool because you work over the entire fretboard and you get the maximum or the best out of the positions. You're going to check out that the positions really help you to develop your soloing in the key of E, which is really different than all other keys on the fretboard. So let's get started. All right, folks, as I said, the key of E is very special. Why? Because when we play the pentatonic position number 1, this will be this one here, or in the open position down here. Especially when we play in the low position, the typical licks which you know from the pentatonic position number 1 don't work. And if you play up here, you're already in the high position, so somehow there is something missing. Of course you can play in this position number 1, but it doesn't really sound the maximum coolness which you probably know from the other positions on other frets. So that's why these licks which I'm showing you now will help you to somehow get a better feeling in the key of E. We're starting the first lick, this one. This is like a typical lick with this. We're using the open string as a pull off here, 3-0. Slide from 3 to 5. And now we are already here and moved up to position 2 of the pentatonics, and we stay here and slide down, back down in position 1. If you would stay in position 1, you would have an open string which doesn't really sound cool. That's why we jump into position 2. So and that's the first lick. And the timing is essential. This is the opening lick. So 1, 2, 3. This is a little 16 note figure. So 16 on the 4 beat. Taka, 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 1, 2, 3, taka, taka. So this is an opening lick and really works good, and you're using position 1 and 2. And now if you want to continue from here, we want to avoid playing here in this position. I mean, you can, a lot of players do, but somehow you don't have total control over your toning. Then we go, which would be if we played down here, we would have open strings, and it's also not cool. So we're moving position 3. Here now we do 5, 7, 5, 7, 5th fret, and then we resolve here on the E here in the 7th fret. So lick number 1, lick number 2, and we play this palm muted. Palm muted means, if you want palm muted, you have your hand down here and this part of the hand damps. So that's a usual technique, but you also can do it as hammer on, so as you like. As an example, if you play the lick twice, it's a really a usual trick or a way of expression that you first play with one technique and then with the other. So first you play it palm muted and then hammer on. Sounds different. So this is lick number 2. So and this lick starts on count 3. So 1, 2, and again 16 note. And then this is on 4, and this one is on 4 and we hold it for the next bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the way how the lick sounds in total. So lick number 1 is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And lick number 2, if you play the lick directly after this, you stop here on count 2, that you're ready here on count 3, or if you wait, you can hold this note longer. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. That was lick number 2. Now lick number 3, we're going in position 4. That will be that one here. Well, we're using position 4 a lot because of the bending here. Because this, when it is the same bending as here back in position 1 in the 12th fret, but this, when if you play the bending on the B string, you have more punch. Hear the difference? Has more punch. So we play it here, and after that, there we drop in position 1 on the B string, and the bending here on the 15th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a tricky part when you 10, 8, 9, and jump in position here directly into the bending, and that's a tricky part, that you really hit the note the way it should be hit. So that will be lick number 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the trick is don't be afraid that you don't correctly. It can also be. If you have a little bit of noise from the other string, it doesn't really matter. Sounds cool. So now let's try these licks with the track here. You can take any track in E. This is a track from my song The Sheriff from Blue City. You can check it out on Spotify or iTunes. But you can take any track, of course, in E. But it really fits here. Lick number 1. Lick number 2. 1, 2. Lick number 2. 1, 2. Now lick number 3. Yeah. Sounds really cool. Now I didn't have so much distortion. We're gonna take more distortion now, especially on the 3rd lick. You cannot avoid that you have noise here, so really don't be afraid that there is some noise, because when you're afraid that you make noise, there will be noise. And if you're not afraid, you enjoy the noise, you don't have much noise. I'm going to play the whole thing now with more distortion, then you see how punchy these licks are. Lick number 1, number 2. 1, 2. Again. 1, 2. Lick number 3. Yeah, they're really great. Now, of course, you cannot make a solo only with 3 licks. Now you use these licks to build up what you're doing anyway. You can play spacey with any track, and I also recommend if you don't play too much lick oriented. Licks are good to have a certain repertoire what you can do, but the trick is to develop a solo on your own. That means we're playing in E minor pentatonic, anything you like. Now we're choosing this upper position here. Anything you like, and then you add licks. I'm going to show how you do that. You see, in between, what I played in between was really basic stuff just with pentatonics, and then you add those licks with punch, and then you sound cool, and that's all you want. Yeah, folks, before I play a version of my own that you can see how I use the licks with more sophisticated stuff, few final notes here on this. As I said, licks are there just to have a kind of security, kind of a repertoire of things you can use. But if you play lick orientated, or you play one lick after each other, you always sound like, okay, now he pulls this, and that's not cool. Try to develop the stuff. Try to just work out 3-4 licks, or these 3 licks which I'm showing you here, that you really know them very good. Also with the timing, that you know the exact timing, that you can also make variations on the timing. If you make variations on licks, which you know, just on timing, they sound totally different. I mean, you can subscribe to my channel. I will talk a lot about the variations with timing, and it's really important, an important tool to spice up your playing. And honestly, I always say I only play 10 or 20 licks, but I make a lot of variations of them. Yeah. And another important thing is when you play solos, also think about that there are other, even if you're playing with the backing track, as now, or any other backing track you have, think about you have to communicate with the other instruments. Also enjoy what the other instruments are doing and try to make a question answer or response to what the band is playing. That's the way something sounds really cool, and this doesn't go into licks. I mean, you can play a backing track and you just play licks, and then you don't pay attention what the others are doing. But try to listen what the others are doing. Sometimes leave space, don't play so much, and then answer. And that's way cooler and is more of musical value. Yep. That's basically the final notes now. If you love this one here, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. If you want to download the backing track and the tabs, they're available in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. And follow me on Spotify, follow me on Instagram, and follow me on Facebook. These are the main social media which I'm doing. And now I'm going to play a version of my own that you see how I work with those licks in my daily routine.